Hockey fans, we know that you've all been waiting for a long time for this day. Last year, the Sydney community and supporters like you showed unrivaled enthusiasm and spirit, proving why you are the most passionate hockey community in Canada. Together with the National Hockey League and the National Hockey League Players Association, Kraft Heinz is excited to celebrate Sydney as the winner of Kraft Hockeyville 2022. This title includes $250,000 in arena upgrades, as well as $10,000 worth of new equipment from the NHL PA Goals and Dreams Fund. Here to present the Kraft Hockeyville 2022 trophy and jersey, please welcome from Kraft Heinz, the Head of Marketing and Strategy, Stephanie Goyen. And joining her are representatives from the 2021 winning community of El Sipuktuk First Nation, Kurt Joseph and Ruth Levi. And now to receive the Kraft Hockeyville 2022 trophy and jersey, representing the Kraft Hockeyville 2022 Cape Breton Blizzard Local Organizing Committee, please welcome Christina Lamy and Kim Primer. Congratulations, Sydney, and congratulations to the local organizing committee and the volunteers that have made this event a huge success.
So it took a year longer than they expected, but Cape Breton gets its game, and now we'll get set for the Florida Panthers and the Ottawa Senators with the NHL regular season 10 days away. A number of cuts have been made already, but there are more to be made. Florida coach Paul Maurice is talking about the fact that they've got 4 to 5 spots yet to be decided on their roster. And the Ottawa Senators have some open spots as well.
We are happy to be honoring her here tonight in front of fans, family, and the community. Will Ronnie Bezo from the Florida Panthers and Drake Matheson from the Ottawa Senators please come forward for tonight's ceremonial puck drop?
Ronnie Bezo. Ronnie Bezo of Florida, from Robson, New Brunswick. Great local tie here for Ottawa. A couple of them, actually. Drake Patterson from New Minas, Nova Scotia, played here for Cape Breton. Spent 3 years here. Didn't start his junior career until he was 17 years of age, but burst out after that. And there is more than Batherson here. Batherson along with Igor Sokolov and backup goaltender Kevin Mandolese were all formerly the Cape Breton then Screaming Eagles, now the Cape Breton Eagles in the Quebec Major Junior League. A proud franchise with a pretty good history.
Well, it's exciting to be back in this building. I haven't been here in many years. I've played against the Cape Breton Oilers.
In the American League, right?
American Hockey League.
And you have ties to Kraft that we will get into later in the broadcast. You've received one of the greatest honors I can think of.
You don't get a nickname like Noodles.
Well, and we'll explain where the nickname comes from and show you visual evidence of where it comes from.
Fair enough. I'm excited for a lot of young players here, like you mentioned, trying to make it.
Even the officials have local ties. Gord Dwyer, the referee, is from Sackville. The other referee, John McIsaac, is from Truro. And the linesmen, too, have local ties. Matt McPherson from Antigonish and Jonathan Deschamps, the other linesman, played here for Cape Breton. Anton Forsberg, Ottawa starting goaltender, leaves it there for Eric Brandstrom. And back at the point, that long shot taken by Santu Kinanen. And that's gloved by Forsberg, who missed the last 31 games of the year last year with a torn knee ligament.
It was a terrible injury. Zach Hyman fell on him accidentally, obviously, on the power play. And Cam Talbot was injured down the stretch.
Right.
Ottawa Senators used 7 goaltenders last year, which was very tough on the points in the standings.
Face off one back, and that long shot taken by Evan Nouse from White Rock, BC, and that stopped as well by Forsberg, who played 28 games at a .902 save percentage, and now Jonas Korpisalo has been signed by Ottawa.
Yep.
And there's competition in the crease.
There's competition, there's stability there. They know each other, they're familiar, they've won together at different levels. So for me, I think it was a terrific signing by General Manager Pierre Dorion in the offseason to help shore up the goaltending, and there's tremendous depth in the organization now.
Anton Lundell trying to dig that puck free for Florida. And back goes to Kinnunen. He's across the lock with that centering pass for Maki Samoskevich. Bounced away. Samoskevich having a great preseason for Florida. The 20-year-old has 3 goals in 3 games for the Panthers. Parker Kelly works in. That's gloved down by Spencer Knight. You heard Tony Lookman and E.J. Raddick talk in the pregame show about Knight, who took some time away to the player assistance program last year. And returns this year. A pretty good year last year, but having a great preseason, a .930 save percentage in 2 appearances so far.
He's a really good goaltending. You're right. Like, he's gone public with his struggles, but he's getting his game personal and on the ice back in order, and it's good for him. And I think he's a star in the making. The Florida Panthers have a special young goaltender in him.
Justin sort of works in, and Roby Yardenty got a stick on him to disrupt the shot, and Anton Forsberg cleans it up.
Sort of gets a quality chance in tight, and Forsberg very aggressive on the play. It ends up kind of a broken 2-on-1. Sort of looking for options on the back door. It gets lifted at the last second. Where you have Yardenty underneath the stick, so he doesn't get all of it, but he changes his angle, tries to go 5-hole. Forsberg with a good push from right to left, sealing the ice, and he's seen enough, wants to slow things down and get a face-off in his own zone.
Puck bouncing to Josh Bailey, the long-time New York Islander who was bought out of the last year of his contract. He's with Ottawa on a professional trial at PTO. There's no obligation either way. So for Bailey to play for Ottawa this year or any team, he'd have to be offered a contract prior to the start of the year. About 50 players on PTOs in an average year, and usually about a dozen get contracts. Brought back in by Jerry Mayhew, bounces back, but Forsberg does the splits and somehow keeps that up with a pile up in front of him, and he hangs on.
This is an unbelievable save by Anton Forsberg to stick with the play. It almost gets carried into his net on the back door. Zach McEwen is trying to help out physically in front, but the initial offering with the blocker and then the rebound right into the body drops down. Josh Bailey trying to battle it off. Forsberg able to seal the ice. Has the presence of mind knowing that puck is making its way, bouncing, and sticks with it. Bailey in the crease. You've got a pile up. Forsberg able to keep it out.
Mark Paslick wins that face-off for Ottawa. Brandstrom fires it back down to the Florida zone. Josh Mahura trying to pick that up. Interesting start to the season for the Panthers with both Aaron Ekblad and Brandon Montour, 2 key defensemen for them, out of the lineup in the early going.
That seems to be the theme here in the preseason a little bit, to some of the injuries. And Vasilevsky is back, and Tampa announced the other day. So looking at that Atlantic division, you mentioned with the 2D out in Florida, the 2 top-tier defensemen, there'll be opportunity for some young Florida Panthers defensemen to step up.
Samoskevich after it for Lundell. Banks that back to Kinnunen. That shot was blocked by Parker Kelly. That worked free and brought back out by Matthew Highmore. Along with Rourke. Chartier gets a shot away, and Knight steers that away. Highmore after it. Chicago Blackhawk, Vancouver Canuck, and St. Louis Blues. Played in the Quebec Major Junior League for 5 years in St. John. Kelly trying to work that free. Now we're number 27 for Ottawa. Kelly jams out inside of the goal, and Spencer Knight hangs on to it. Kelly didn't like a late whack he took. And a pile up in behind the goal as he was tangled up with Evan Nouse.
Showing a little bit of animosity, a little bit of energy, and that's when you've got young guys that are pushing to make the lineup. This might be their last chance. So short side jam. Knight can't get a hold of it initially, so Parker Kelly trying to jam away at any type of loose change, takes exception, and then everybody steps in. Cooler heads prevail as Naus was the contributor to the physicality on the back door.
Bounces him for the face-off against Justin Sorter. Gets it back to center right. Tyler Clevin knocks that down, and the real battle in Ottawa is for the last couple of spots on defense.
Yes.
Mike Benning pokes out ahead of out-of-regarded prospect for Florida. He was a fourth-round pick in 2020, went on to be named the Frozen Four MVP at University of Denver. They won a national championship. His dad, Brian, played for the Florida Panthers. His uncle Jim was a longtime player. Went on to be an executive at the Vancouver Canucks.
Well, the Bennings are legends in Edmonton. Family, certainly in the hockey world. You're right. I played against his dad, Brian, for many years.
Forsberg back to stop it as both teams change. 4 gone here in the opening period. Ottawa will move down to Halifax tonight and play the Pittsburgh Penguins tomorrow. Sidney Crosby and company in action in Halifax in a game that is hotly anticipated there.
Very exciting.
Brandstrom up to center ice to Bailey. Lead pass by Gannett to Brandstrom. And Brandstrom shoots. That's kicked away by Knight. Knight was the 13th overall pick by Florida in the 2019 NHL draft. Brought in now by Jake Wise. He's poke check. And swinging back is Rasmus Asplund, the former Buffalo Sabre. Jerry Mayhew was the American League MVP of 3 years ago. He's got a prolific score at the AHL level as Sokolov pokes that out for Brandstrom.
It just hasn't translated at the National Hockey League level for Mayhew.
Sokolov in on the forecheck trying to win that puck. Scored once in 5 games for Ottawa last year. Had 21 goals in Belleville. Former Quebec League goal-scoring champion with Sokolov right here in Cape Breton. And that shooting from the wrong side of the blue line. Offside is called. And not just NHL players who have been here this weekend, but the NHL's iconic trophy, the Stanley Cup, has been here in Cape Breton and went to Coxheath Elementary School. It is extraordinary to see the impact the Stanley Cup has. Phil Pritchard, who's one of the keepers of the Cup, talks about it. It's the only trophy in the Big Four sports where it's the same trophy every year. The NBA, Major League Baseball, and the NFL make a new trophy every year. That's the trophy that the Rockets drank with Gordie Howe, Bobby Orr, Gretzky, Lemieux, you name it.
That's why it has a bodyguard. It's seen a lot of things. It's seen and done a lot of things. It's enjoyed itself. So you're right. I think it's fascinating, and it's such. I've been to so many Stanley Cup parties scored. You know, I'm a little superstitious. I've never touched it. I don't know why.
Lindell in shoots. Well, I think you can now, Jamie. I think you're good now.
There's no threat of me winning it anytime soon.
I'm sorry to break it to you. I don't think it's going to happen in a suit.
Fair enough.
Belinskas. You could go back into management, though.
Listen, it didn't happen when I played either. But either way, yeah, maybe. But I enjoy working with you, so I'm not going anywhere.
Lucas Belinskas back to pick it up. A free agent signee by Florida, played for Latvia 5 times in the World Championship, plus the Olympics. So a gamble on him at a terrific World Championship last spring in Latvia and Finland. Ryan Lomborg plays it back in for Florida, and picked up by Tyler Clevin. He joined Ottawa at the end of his college season last year at North Dakota, and figured to be in the mix for a top 6 spot for Ottawa. Castellan has that puck picked off by Nick Cousins, and Cousins works it across the Lomborg. Long shot gloved by Forsberg, and he'll hang on. No score here in the opening period. It's Kraft Hockeyville from Sydney, Nova Scotia, featuring Ottawa and Florida. Well, Cape Breton's got 3 players in this game for Ottawa. Drake Batherson spent 3 seasons with the then Screaming Eagles. Igor Sokolov spent 3 years here as well. And backup goaltender Kevin Mandolese was the goalie of the year in the Quebec League in 2019. Also 3 seasons with Cape Breton. You may have heard of some other alumni here, led by Marc-Andre Fleury, who was a star here for Cape Breton in the early 2000s.
Great alumni.
Started for Canada at the 03 World Junior Championship down the road in Halifax. That's going to play it here in Halifax and Sydney.
Marc-Andre Fleury is still one of my favorite goaltenders of all time. A legend. He's Hall of Famer for me. He's done.
You have to think so? Yeah.
I have to think so. Our goaltenders, you know that. But trying to get as many as I can into the Hall of Fame, so. The goalie hugger.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Sometimes you have to let go a little bit.
I know.
Jake Wise steps in for the face-off for Florida. He was a third-round pick of Chicago, not signed. And with the NCAA's rules after COVID, they were allowing an extra year. He played 5 years of college hockey, transferred from Boston College to Ohio State. Now a quick chance at Panthers turned away in tight by Knight. Best look so far for Ottawa. Rasmus Asplund sends it back in. And played back up by Nicholas Montepallo. Here comes Batherson back with it. Flips it back in front. And on the back check, that's broken up by Evan Naus. And the puck goes up and out of play.
Mako's going to get a chance, but this is all about Drake Batherson in the neutral zone. He sticks with it, and then a beautiful little backhand saucer. So Batherson fights through a check, looking for options, takes it from forehand to backhand. Now it's disrupted a little bit by Naus. Mako gets a little bit of it with the stick on the back door, right there. Spencer Knight pushes across and gets the left pad on it. Quality chance, but that's all made possible by Drake Batherson and his creativity in the neutral zone.
Josh Bailey swings back on the back check for Ottawa. Played his 1,000th game last year with the Islanders, who in the offseason dealt him to Chicago, who subsequently bought him out.
Impressive that he's got 1,057 games. That's pretty impressive. Most with the Islanders, as you mentioned.
Long point shot taken there by Kelly Sion. And Sion shot is turned away. Played back across by Dalpy for McAllister. Sends that back for Shalin. And the former Ranger draft pick swings that back down to the Florida zone. Brandstrom chips it back around. That's played ahead by Highmore. And Mahura plays that back to center ice. Lundell sweeps in with a chance, shoots, scores! Anton Lundell lifts it over the arm of Forsberg, and Florida takes the early lead.
This is all about speed in the neutral zone. Lundell's going to finish it off. He has an option on the back door and chooses to hold on to it and go short side underneath the bar. Right in the neutral zone, step up play by Bernard Docker. Lost coverage by Highmore. Lundell's going to skate right into this. Nice little pop play. Option on the back door. Looks him off and then decides to keep himself and give the Florida Panthers a 1-0 lead.
First round pick of Florida in 2020. Lundell had 12 goals last year in his second NHL season. A player they really like.
He's a nice player.
Glittering amateur career. Gold with Finland at the under-18s, the World Junior Championship, and narrowly missed out on the triple. His team finished second at the World Championship in 2019. Lomborg with it. In shoots, and Forsberg able to make the stop.
Looking at a peek at the goal, as you mentioned, Lundell. The one thing in talking to people from the Florida Panthers, they love how responsible he is. Quality position here to support the play, skate into it. Options, uses the long reach, and then just a little flick play. It's not as how hard you shoot it, it's where you place it. And he goes short side. Forsberg a little deep on that play, gives the upper part of the net, and Lundell takes it.
Passes with a face-off, won by Mayhew. And now Keenan shoots, bounces back in front, that's put wide by White. Asplund tangles there with Montepallo. The puck held the point as Naus gets that shot away. Montepallo tries to flip it ahead. Mayhew threw that back in, and now chipped out by Boko Imama. The Quebec scoring star himself, playing for St. John, the Quebec Major Junior League. There's a quick shot there by Kastelik, turned away by Knight. And Clubbin swings back to pick it up. Clement with Florida changing. Quick up for Imama. And Knight is back to play it. Samoskevich picked up another point for Florida in the preseason. Schmeichel goes up for Batherson to roll back just wide. Now a chance for Schmeichel again. That was blocked by Benning, who sprawled in front of that. Brandstrom takes the return pass from Batherson and shoots, and through the traffic, Knight makes another stop.
That's a good save by Spencer Knight, battling for a sight line. And a good give and go at the top of the umbrella by Brandstrom and Batherson. There's the initial offering, and then a little give and go right here. Brandstrom looking for an option. There's traffic in front, two bodies. Spencer Knight in position, rips that out of the air, makes that look easy. That's a tough save as Ottawa looks for the equalizer.
A bit more urgency for Ottawa than most teams going into the gate this year. They've had poor starts 4 years in a row that have really hampered their playoff hopes.
They've had injuries, inconsistencies, but can't have those excuses. But you're right, Gord. The bottom line is they have to have a good start. And technically on paper, 13 out of the first 17 are on home ice.
Right, so they've got to put points in the bank early.
Exactly.
Puck moved ahead to Samoskevich into Newtown, Connecticut. Samoskevich, the University of Michigan, gets belted down there by Maxence Gaudette. And Ottawa brings it out. Brandstrom up for Batherson. That's picked up at center ice by Balunskas. The 27-year-old Latvian looks for Lundell. And now Gaudette back to pick it up. A penalty coming to Florida. That's going to be a hook on Lundell. And Ottawa will get the game's first power play just past the midway point of the opening period. 1-0 Florida leads in Kraft Hockeyville.
Anton Lundell is going to sit for 2 or less as he draws the game's first penalty. Aggressive on the forecheck, a little slash right there, reaching in on Gannett. And Ottawa's going to get their first power play opportunity, looking for the equalizer.
And no team relied more on their power play than Ottawa did last year. They were number 2 in the NHL in power play goals scored. Only Edmonton, with that blistering power play, had more. They wound up 26th in 5-on-5 goals, though. So really rely on the man advantage to provide their offense.
Well, and you look at the depth they've added in the offseason. Kubalik, Tarasenko, guys like that. That's going to add to your second power play. It's a healthy competition.
Sokolov tries to flip that back. Batherson has it back. There is Schmeichel. Sounds a free agent by Ottawa. Played 3 World Championships for Czechia. Playing last year in Sweden. Sordic with it. Tied up to that Batherson trying to work that free. Now Bailey's got it back. For Brandstrom. Batherson works it across the line, and Batherson's pass goes off Sordic. Knocked down by Keenan. And Sordic sweeps that back down to the Ottawa zone. Roby Järventie, second-round pick of Ottawa in 2022, or 2020 rather, takes that return pass, and Järventie works in for Kelly. Parker Kelly trying to work that free. Now Cole Reinhardt has it back to Gannett. Gannett with a shot, a pad save by Knight through the traffic.
That was a really good save. Again, traffic in front. Knight does a good job fighting for any type of sight line. He picked it up at the last second, but that was more of a positional save.
Reinhardt puts it back in for Clevin. That's knocked away and sent down the ice by Kalle Shala.
You can tell not a lot of unison on this power play. The entry having a tough time getting set up on and looking for quality looks.
That McEwen sends it in as Knight's out to play it. Highmore swings it back in deep. Knight knocks it down. One shot for Ottawa on that power play. Remains a 1-0 lead for Florida. Long shooting. Forsberg gathers that up as Lundell was bearing it on him, and they'll say that because Forsberg throws the long shot, Ottawa cannot change.
As I mentioned, not much going on that power play. It's tough when you don't have your regulars, and it's guys that are getting opportunities but don't have a ton of chemistry. It's all about making an impression as much as you can on management as the games dwindle here, and You mentioned we're 10 days away from the real games.
Well, it's not just for the start of the year, because the 23 guys who make your opening game roster will not be the 23 to play all year for you.
Agreed.
That puck went up and out. They're going to check to see if that went straight out. And the officials say it deflected out. But, you know, be in the coach's mind.
Yes.
Make an impression that when they need someone, they have a memory of you and a positive impression.
That's the biggest challenge at training camp. You want to be a separator and do the things that you do well that got you to the National Hockey League level. Make that impression on the coach. If you don't make the team out of the gate, you're right, you want to be that first call-up. You want to be an option if there is an injury or an inconsistency at the National Hockey League level.
Beliscus moves up, tied up there by Larson. And Highmore has it back. Rink wide he goes. Jacob Bernard Docker sends it ahead, but it's knocked down by Maki Semiskevich. McEwen steals it right back. Bernard Docker with a long shot. Goes off a skate. Rourke Chartier was alone in front. The puck skipped away from him as it got in behind Knight. Larson back across to Bernard Docker. Moves it and shoots. Hit a leg in front. Highmore trying to dig that free. He does. And Spencer Knight sprawls out and corrals the bouncing puck.
Ottawa did everything but find the back of the net on that play. Bernard Docker had a clean look, but Spencer Knight had lost his stick. The initial offering doesn't know where the puck is. It bounces on the back door. Matthew Highmore gets hit by the puck as well, but clear lane towards the net. You've got bodies in front. If you can't convert, Spencer Knight has seen enough of it and wants to slow it down.
Off the face-off win by Kastelik. Here's Clevin. Tyler Clevin comes moving in. Back to Matapalo, who shot that wide. And Sokolov keeps it alive for Kastelik. Kastelik pivots back. That pass goes off a skate to Rasmus Asplund. Asplund to Mayhew. And Mayhew gets thumped there by Clevin, who loves to step up. Wise into the forecheck. Kastelik looks for Imama. And here's Kastelik back with it. Wearing the number 12 of the departed Alex DeBrincat. And Sokolov sends it back down. Skipping puck, and Knight gloves that ahead for Keenan. Bizzo has the pass, bounce right back to him, winds it across the line. Bizzo shoots. That's off the leg of Branson and wide. Yarventy for Batherson. Winds that rink wide. Schmeichel in, shoots, scores! Stuck that right in the top corner, literally. And it's a 1-1 tie.
Was that ever a laser beam?
That puck's still in the net. Stuck in it.
It is. They got to pull it right out of the netting. But this is a quality play and pass by Drake Batherson. Schmeichel's going to finish it off, and we mentioned with a bomb of a shot. But this starts in the defensive zone. Good support. Now watch this pass by Drake Batherson. Across the zone, saucer drops right on Schmeichel's stick. Better angle of it. Schmeichel skates right into that little screen shot.
It just stuck it right there.
It stuck it right in the top shelf. Now Benning was in the eyes of Spencer Knight, so he didn't track it. The only time he saw it when it was in the net, stuck in the netting. What a beautiful shot.
Schmeichel scored 23 goals in 49 games last year for Oskarshamn in the Swedish Hockey League. It's a big goal-scoring year in that league. And he's got the equalizer here in the first period at Kraft Hockeyville from Sydney, Nova Scotia. Well, here at Kraft Hockeyville, is there any greater honor, I mean, short of a statue, than having your picture on a box of Kraft dinner? Jamie McLennan, 1994 Noodles, goalie for the New York Islanders. Look at you on a KD box. That's like the Mount Rushmore
it is.
Of endorsement deals.
I'm pretty excited about it. Except the picture. Does it look like I'm looking behind me like the puck's in the net? Well, Schmeichel may have fired a top glove on me. I don't know, but it is pretty exciting. You're thinking about it.
And you still got 3 boxes left, right?
I have 3 boxes. My Nana back in the day bought a whole box from the grocery store.
A case of them?
A case of them. So we ate a bunch and then kept a few, and I found them in storage.
I gotta say, man, what's it like eating your own KD? Like, that's...
I don't know.
Reinhart winds in. Great pass. Oh, what a stop by Knight.
Wow.
Great save there on Josh Bailey.
That is a 10-bell save. Should put him on a Kraft dinner box. What a save here. This is a beautiful play. Pass the back door. Reinhart puts it on a tee for Josh Bailey. That's a for sure goal. Spencer Knight gets across, pushing from right to left, and rips out the glove and keeps this game at 1-1.
Now, how did you wind up on the box?
I don't know. I just remember getting a phone call from public relations going, hey,
well, your nickname is, for those who don't know, Jamie's nickname Noodles comes from junior hockey, playing in Lethbridge, right?
Yes.
And you used a crock pot of a team bus to make craft dinner.
Yes, and keep in mind, this was like the Wild West 35 years ago. There wasn't iPads or anything like that. There was one plug-in on the bus, and I didn't feel like getting heartburn every night at some of the places we stopped, so I would bring a crock pot on and make some craft dinner for myself, and by the end of the year, I think some of the other guys.
How much craft dinner did you, how many boxes of craft dinner do you think you ate then?
120,000 in my lifetime, but I...
Lead pass, Zach McEwen moving in, shoots, Knight has a peek back, but he's got it. And he hangs on.
But that year, honestly, even if it was a short road trip, I would make it at home and put it in a plastic, one of those Ziploc bags and bring it on the bus with myself.
Wait, hang on. You didn't use Tupperware? You put it in a Ziploc bag?
It's all they can find.
That's gross. Like a bag of candy. You just took the most delicious thing and made it gross.
No way. It actually was great. Like, I enjoyed it and helped make me through some good road trips in junior. But
it is one of the most inventive nicknames. I mean, instead of Mac or whatever, right? Noodles is a great nickname. And appropriate.
Yes.
McEwen tied up in the corner. Gathers it back up in this 1-1 tie. Shalin turns that over, and Larson plays it rink wide for Bernard Docker. Matthew Highmore has it taken away by Bizou. You played with his dad, right?
I played with his dad, Andy, who was one tough customer.
Now a steal by Lundell, moves in and shoots, and whipped that wide. Larson up for Sokolov. He gets spun around. And Larson back to pick it up. Down he goes to Bernard Docker. Highmore chips out of the reach for it. Sokolov moves in on the hurl. Samoskevich snaps that pass rink wide. Belinskas chips it ahead for Samoskevich. That plays offside at the Ottawa line.
Gord, I like the pace of the game so far. It's been good. Both organizations have come to play here this afternoon. 5 o'clock time sometimes is a little bit off-putting for guys' body clocks. But good pace. Seen some good saves and a couple quality goals so far.
Clement goes back to pick up that shoot-in. Off the glass, it's knocked down by Lomberg. Also a good nickname, Lomberghini.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's not.
Boy, he plays hard, though. He's a small-statured guy that plays a big game.
Important guy in the Florida attack. Don't forget, last year, Florida lost to Ottawa 5-2 in late March. Their 4th straight loss. And they were sinking out of playoff contention. Keith Tkachuk, Brady and Matthew's dad said Florida was a soft team. They were getting everything they deserved. They went on a run, and then Pittsburgh lost to Chicago late in the year. Opened the door for Florida. They were the last team to make the playoffs and went all the way to the Stanley Cup Final.
Well, it was somewhat of a Cinderella story, but Bobrovsky turned the clock back as well. He was brilliant.
Sharp angle shot by Benning. Goes back to Shell on a hard drive that goes high. And now Benning had the puck skirt by him. Picked off at center ice by Batherson. The chip set back down to the Florida zone. Chalmette heading back. And here's Wise with it. Now Asplund. Chips up for Jerry Mayhew. And back at the point. Kicked back in by Mahura. 2 to go here in the opening period. 1-1 the score. Belinsky shoots, and Forsberg knocks that away with the blocker. Mayhew back around for Asplund, picked off by Brandstrom. And Brandstrom pulls it around for Järventie. It's brought out. And as Schmeichel brings it out, the Ottawa net was dislodged. And play is called with 1:47 to go. And we mentioned the Kraft Hockeyville winning So you get the NHL preseason game, but you also get $250,000 in arena upgrades. And here in Cape Breton, they're using that for the Canada Games arena. To put a new ice plant in. That'll be used solely for girls hockey.
That's amazing.
To give girls a place to play. So it's a tangible, like that $250,000, that new ice plant will make a huge difference.
It is. It's going to go a long way, not only for now, but for the future.
Kraft has donated more than $4.8 million to 97 communities across the country since hockey began in 2006.
I love it. It's a great thing, and Sydney's embraced it. Kraft's embraced it. This is just a great partnership.
And since 2006, Jamie's eaten, we think, 100,000 boxes of KD.
I said 120, but
oh, you're right. Wow. But see, we're going pre-2006.
That's true. That's true. Keep in mind, I've got a 6-year-old son and a 10-year-old daughter.
Yes.
I eat it twice a week now to this day. I'm very proud of it as well.
Oh, it was my go-to when I was alone with my daughter. There's Bolinska's back with it as time winds down here in the period. Lockwood. Up ahead for Lundell. Back up for Lockwood. William Lockwood, former Vancouver Canuck. Really struggled with shoulder injuries. He suffered 2 major shoulder injuries as a teenager, including one at the World Junior Championship. And that plays offside at the Florida line.
That's the biggest challenge sometimes. You're a good up-and-coming player, but you run into injury issues. It stunts your development. You get passed by in the depth chart in organizations, and then you've got to fight your way back in. If you're a good enough player, you play. Organizations will find you, and a night like this, you make an impression. Might be an impression with another scout in attendance.
Someone's always watching.
Exactly. That's really what it comes down to.
Good or bad, someone's always watching.
I agree.
Southern Rangers back with Sorda and Cousins into the forecheck. And Sorda forces that free for Cousins, back for Lomberg, and that shot knocked away. Brought back by Rourke Chartier. 20 goals in 40 games last year with Belleville of the American Hockey League for Chartier. As Sorda picks up the loose puck. Cousins moving out with Sokolov watching him. That was knocked away by Catholic. And Gannett feeds it back across to Brandstrom. Eric Brandstrom moving in with time winding down here in the period. Plays it behind the goal. Catholic fell awkwardly. Now it's going to stick on him as time expires. And the team will go to the dressing room tied at 1 after 20 minutes of play.
Quality first period by both organizations. They've got to be happy with that. Spirited play, good pace, couple goals, and heading in after the first period looking to regroup.
It's Kraft Hockeyville 2022. Now back to the studio with Tony Luffman. Back here in Sydney, Nova Scotia, your first period summary. Anton Lundell up on the scoring at 8:18. Mackie Samoskevich continues his strong preseason with 5 points in 4 preseason games for Florida. But Yuri Schmeichel got his first of the preseason from Nova Scotia native Drake Batherson to tie it up at 14-22. The shots were 13-12 in favor of the Florida Panthers. The teams will start the second period 5-on-5. Gord Miller, Jimmy McClellan here. Welcome you in the NHL YouTube channel and on the NHL Network at Kraft Hockeyville 2022. This event was supposed to be held last preseason, but there were some COVID delays that caused this game to be postponed as Batherson works back in with Schmeichel. Got back, quick shot, score! Roby Yarventy fires it home in the opening seconds of the second period to give Ottawa the lead.
And there it is again. Drake Batherson making things happen in the neutral zone. And we're seconds in, 11 seconds in to the second period. Missed assignments, a little bit of sloppy play here along the wall, but Batherson gets in good position. You're going to get that puck looking for options, slides it back through the seam. Yarventy does the rest as he fires it blocker side on Spencer Knight, and the Ottawa Senators have a 2-1 lead early in the second period.
So Batherson has 2 assists in the game now. I mentioned from New Minas, Nova Scotia, about an hour west of Halifax. Played here in Cape Breton. His dad also had some time with the Ottawa organization, playing for their American League team back in the day.
And that played against his dad in the AHL.
Brandstrom plays that back across to Schmeichel. And we're seeing this more and more, Jamie, that players are being signed as a free agent out of the World Championship or out of Europe and making their impact. I saw Michael Kempney do that a few years ago for Chicago and Washington.
Schmeichel's 26 years old, so he's gone through the process and developed.
Josh Mahura, long shot. Pinballs around in front. Forsberg makes the stop and hangs on to that. One of the first was Pierre-Edouard Bellemare.
Yes, but it's when you develop, and this is a quality save here by Anton Forsberg. Little backhand, forehand play by Josh Mahura. The last second, now Ryan Lomberg actually skates through the sight line of Forsberg. Forsberg feels it hit his right shoulder and drop down. Lomberg looking for any type of loose change, trying to jam it in.
Lomberg, 12 goals last year for Florida. As Belinskas winds in. Another one of those free agent signees out of Europe. Belinskas, a 27-year-old from Latvia. He's played in a number of European leagues. Highmore with it. It's kicked ahead by Mayhew. It bounces back to center ice. Picked up by Zach McEwen, who bounces that down to the Florida zone. McEwen back after. Here's Belinskas with it. Asplund up ahead to Wise. Poke that into Jerry Mayhew. Mayhew crisscross with Asplund. Works it back in the slot, and Wise taps that back to Kinnunen. Back to Mayhew, got the long shot away. Forsberg down, makes the pad stop there as Asplund was banging away. And Forsberg hangs on.
Another quality save by Anton Forsberg, but I like the play here by Jerry Mayhew. He gets it down to the front of the net. He knows he's got traffic in front. Asplund hanging away on the left pad, trying to challenge any type of rebound. Forsberg sealing the ice, doing a good job of getting that whistle, but it's all because Mayhew gets it down to the front of the net, knowing he has a screen.
Back at the point, that shot blocked from Kinnunen. 7th round pick of Florida back in 2018, who came to North America last year, spent his first year in the American League playing for Charlotte, Florida's American Hockey League affiliate. And with the injuries, there's going to be some early season openings on the Florida blue line.
Absolutely, it's opportunity. That's the biggest thing.
And there is Paul Maurice on the Florida bench. What an eventful first year as the head coach of the Panthers.
Well, he had the night, I believe, you might have been calling the game where he was
the tirade in Toronto. So
yeah.
that was the game after the Ottawa loss, and that kicked off the run where they won 7 out of 8 and managed to make it to the playoffs. They actually finished with fewer points than Calgary to qualify for the playoffs in the East, and then faced Boston in the first round and pulled off that stunning upset of the Bruins.
Well, it was David and Glad, but you're right. Bobrovsky came in and was brilliant from game 5 on.
You know what happened though to Florida you wonder about is Lundell winds in and shoots and Forsberg makes the stop. Is, you know, they had that tough 7-game series against Boston, then they beat Toronto in 5.
Yeah.
They swept Carolina in 4, had the long layoff before the start of the Stanley Cup final. And you always wonder how that'll affect the team when you're off. I think they were off for 11 days.
Yeah, and you know, the injury to Matthew Tkachuk, there's a lot of what ifs. Now Vegas deserved to win the Stanley Cup. They were brilliant. But you're right, that long layoff.
Now Benning with a quick shot and a stop by Forsberg. Mike Benning's a terrific offensive defenseman, had 13 goals in 39 games last year at the University of Denver. Spent 3 years at DU. And Benning back for it. And we got a penalty coming up as sent sprawling was Kalle Shalin.
Shalin's going to get an interference call. Trying to step in. Kastelik, get in. It's all right to get in the lane, but you can't force him into a different lane altogether.
Bad enough you get the penalty. You also got pancaked.
Exactly, but opportunity for Ottawa to try and extend their lead. Josh Bailey on this first power play, center ice position. With Shane Pinto his situation not sorted out, it is an opportunity for Josh Bailey and his 1,000 games in the National Hockey League to make an impact.
So the trick with a PTO, a professional tryout, is there's no obligation on the part of the team. There's also no obligation on the part of the player.
Correct.
Like if Josh Bailey has a good training camp, he can sign with anyone.
I believe Chris Versteeg did that not that long ago.
I think he was on a PTO at Edmonton and signed with Calgary.
Which is more price for, yeah, exactly. That's how it worked.
That's nasty.
Yeah, right down the road. Just drove 3 hours down the road to sign the deal. It happens. Versteeg had a long, good career, won a Stanley Cup in Chicago.
And away comes Bailey with it. Back is Brancher to pick it back up as Ottawa scrambles to get going on the power play. We mentioned Ottawa will play Pittsburgh tomorrow night in Halifax. In a sold-out building, the home of the Halifax Mooseheads. And tickets are impossible to come by.
Hopefully we can get into the building.
I think we'll be okay. We'll be high up. That building might still be vibrating for the World Junior Championship last Christmas.
Yeah.
Sokolov moves in for Ottawa. There goes Sokolov. Back for Bailey. To Brandstrom. Across to Batherson. Back to Brandstrom. Brandstrom flips it back across and skipped away from Bailey. Now picked up by Sokolov, and Knight able to make the save.
This little pop play there by Josh Bailey to get it to Sokolov. He doesn't get all of that he wanted on it. That's why the puck rolled into Spencer Knight and he was able to seal the post. But I mentioned Bailey getting an opportunity here on a PTO, looking to make an impact, add to the Ottawa Senators' depth.
That is a native of Bowmanville, Ontario, about an hour east of Toronto. This division, the Atlantic, is going to be interesting to watch this year because, you know, you've got Florida coming off the Stanley Cup run, but they've got Brandon Montour and Aaron Ekblad out. Tampa going to have Vasilevsky out for at least the first couple of months. Boston had the retirement of Bergeron. That shot's whipped wide by Parker Kelly. Rebound goes to Miller, who tries to throw it back in front. Plus the loss of David Krejci. And then you've got, at the other end of it, is Ottawa ready to make the push for a playoff spot. Detroit,
Buffalo, you're right. You look at that whole division, will be fascinating. And again, get a little bit of a garage sale around Spencer Knight as puck gets thrown out front, bounces off a leg. He's able to corral the rebound. Parker Kelly right in the middle of all of it.
Knight's a native of Darien, Connecticut. Played for the U.S. in 3 World Junior Championships. Won gold in 2021 in Edmonton. Was brilliant in that gold medal game against Canada.
Well, he's 22 years old. He's got all the talent in the world as a goaltender structurally. I really believe in big things for him.
In comes Lundell with Lomborg. A weak wide pass skipped away from him, and Gannett brings it back. Final second of this Ottawa power play as Gannett works in. Up to back to Yarvity, that skipped away from Cole Reinhardt. 2 shots for Ottawa on that power play. Remains a 1-1 tie here in the second period. It's Kraft Hockeyville 2022 here in Sydney, Nova Scotia. It's term 2022 because this game was to be played here last year. Knight has to wait for it, plays it back around to Santtu Kinnunen. Brought back in by Samoskevich, trying to find Lundell with it. Kinnunen shoots, that's tipped wide by Lomborg. Highmore knocked that free. And here's Kastelik with it. Kastelik jumps it across the line and shoots. That went off Samoskevich and wide. Highmore trying to work that free, tied up by Kinnunen. And Samoskevich goes off the glass and back down to the Ottawa zone as Larson swings back for it. Rourke Chartier out to center ice. That's knocked down, and Asplund plays it right back in. Bernard Docker. Zach McEwen. Now picked up by Mayhew. Jerry Mayhew from Wyandotte, Michigan. So mentioned a very productive player in the American League. Now Bernard Docker was taken down, penalty coming to Florida. Chartier for Bernard Docker. And Ottawa gets the extra skater on the ice. It's Drake Batherson who has 2 assists in the game so far.
He's been very noticeable. Flying, obviously comfortable in the building, comfortable in the setting.
In comes Batherson streaking down the wing, shoots it off the mask of Knight. And finally touched up by Bizot, and Ottawa's going back to the power play with 13:18 to go here in the second period. It's Kraft Hockeyville from Sydney, Nova Scotia on the NHL Network and the NHL YouTube channel. Nice scene before the game. This is Ellen McPherson, 5 years old, legally blind. Got a jersey from Ottawa goalie Kevin Mandolese, who played here. She and her brother Boyd, they got invited into the Ottawa Senators dressing room, where they gave out and read out the starting lineup for Ottawa.
Schmeckle.
Schmeckle.
Starting on center.
Robbie.
Starting on the right wing.
Drake. Defense Brady.
On right defense.
Max.
That was great. They'll be part of the post-game festivities when there's a jersey exchange afterwards. Players got a kick out of that too.
That's amazing. This is what it's all about.
Schmeichel plays it back across the power play, and that's put through the crease by Sokolov. At the point is Brandstrom. Eric Brandstrom swings that back to Bailey. And Bailey has that poke checked away by Zach Dalpe. A race for it now. Dalpe busts in shorthanded. Dalpe in, put that wide. Brandstrom might have got a stick on him on the way back. But a good burst there for Zach Dalpe, the 13-year NHL veteran in his third year with Florida.
It was a good read, long stick, and Bailey tried to force feed it across, and it was picked off.
Matheson works in. Off the leg of Lundell. He bounces that back down to the Ottawa zone. Florida won the President's Trophy 2 years ago as the top regular season team in the NHL. There's been a long history in recent years of teams doing well the year after they win the President's Trophy. Washington, St. Louis both won the Cup the year after winning the President's Trophy.
You're predicting Boston. Have a big year then.
You know, we talked about this division, but I mean, Boston's going to be interesting to watch because a lot of people are going to think without Bergeron, without Krejci, how will they function? But
well, they still have some superstar power on there, and the Vezina Trophy winner's not going anywhere.
Right.
Allmark.
That defense is still pretty good.
Exactly.
Well, they had 132 points last year. Even a 30-point drop-off, he's probably still a playoff team.
Exactly.
Yarvity takes the return pass, moves it and shoots it, just missed short side. 20 seconds to go on the power play. Gannett keeps it alive. Dalpe whacks at it. Sort of to the line, but not up. Kept alive by Parker Kelly. Works in. Drops that back to Clevin. Clevin. For Gannett, back to Clevin. Shoots. Punched out by Knight. The time winds down his power play. Clevin again moves it and shoots. Fired it far side. Asplund steps out. One shot for Ottawa on that power play. Sends Canadian lead 2-1. Asplund lifts that back down to the Ottawa zone as Gannett goes back, and Kent nursed that in nicely. He tried.
He took a little different angle there, trying to let that slide over the line.
Gannett for McEwen. And nicely waved off as Highmore got there first. He was taken down in the corner. Shalin got a stick on him. Now Samoskevich works it in. Chartier gets a stick on it, knocks it free for McEwen. Up to Matthew Highmore, Benning. Took that away from him and stolen right back by Chartier. Rourke Chartier. Digs that free in the corner for McEwen. And Lundell back with it. Here's Jacob Larson back with it. Bomb was tipped into him. Samoskevich sent it for Lundell. That was knocked away by Bernard Docker. Larson for Bernard Docker. Here's Wise with it. Wise. That's it for Mayhew. Throws it back in front. Forsberg's down. The puck loose. Forsberg still down. The puck still loose. That's knocked wide. By Balinskis, who had jumped up. Here's Larson back with it. Snaps that pass in to Imama. Larson to Bernard Docker. Knight to Wise. That's turned over as Matheson gotten away. Imama back with it. Shoots, put that wide. Rebound. Hammered to the side of the goal by Yarvity. And the Florida net is dislodged. And play is called. Good look for the Florida Panthers. Anton Forsberg turns away and keeps it a 2-1 game. Well, we showed you Ella McPherson a moment ago, the 5-year-old blind girl who helped call up the starting lineup. She's a big fan of Kevin Mandolese. Remember Valentine's Day on the island? Mandolese called up. His family came in late from Montreal to watch him play, and he turned in a 48-save win in a shootout against the Islanders. And one of the people he talked about, some of the people he talked about afterwards, were the McPhersons from here in Sydney.
They were his billets. So
they were his billet family.
Very close.
He's got Ella's name on his pads.
That's amazing. Great tribute to her, and he was brilliant that first game. I remember watching him. I'm so happy for him, and family got an opportunity to see it live.
They drove straight down, and then some of them had to go to work, others had to go to school, so they drove straight back.
Well, it was worth the trip, put it that way. Yeah. He was brilliant, and the tribute to Ella is awesome as well.
Nicely waved off as Schmeichel gets there first. Garvin plays that back to Martin Powell, the long shot, stopped by Knight. And now plays the rebound away. Knight gloves that down for McAllister. And ahead it goes to Riley Bizzo. Free agent signed by Florida in 2022 out of St. John of the Quebec League. Parker Kelly chips out into Cole Reinhardt. And Reinhardt pivots back. Reinhardt, 6th-round pick of Ottawa in 2020, had that poked away. And here's Gannett with it. Rolls back down to Knight. Keeps that defending on his pocket picked by Reinhardt. They're going to call a hook there on Cole Reinhardt, sending Florida to the power play with 8:20 to go in the second period.
Reinhardt with just a little too much on the stick. It's called for the hook. So on the forecheck on Benning, tries a sneaky little play, but sticks his stick in the hands and twists him. Benning gets turned around. Call right there. It's a tough penalty to take 200 feet away from your net, especially on the forecheck. But Florida's going to be looking for the equalizer here. Another opportunity on the power play.
Florida was 6th in goals for last year in the NHL. Their power play ranked 10th in the league.
Good power play. And it was different too. Huberdeau gone.
Right.
Matthew Tkachuk in there. He plays more down at the front of the net as a disruptor.
There's Rundell with it. Back for Keenan. Hard shot by Sanaskevich at the mask of Forsberg. Sanaskevich doesn't lack for confidence. Says, I have the skill to play in the NHL. It's just a matter of time. And Paul Maurice, the head coach of Florida, agrees.
It's impressive to call your shot. Now he's got to back it up. He's a good player, and you can tell he plays with a lot of confidence and poise out on the ice.
Very productive player with the U.S. National Team Development Program and the University of Michigan. Here's Brandstrom with it. Eric Brandstrom winds in. Shoot! That was off the stick of Keenan. Up and out of play.
Eric Brandstrom had a real solid second half of the season for the Senators last year. Started to get his legs underneath him, a little bit more confidence with the puck. Ended up with 18 points in 74 games. And played in nice on that third pairing after the acquisition of Chychrun. Be interesting still. They're playing around with the pairings there.
Yeah.
Levin has to be in the mix, I would imagine. You got Hamonic.
Well, there's also waiver issues, right? So, I mean, certain guys that need waivers and guys that don't will be part of that mix. Benning drops that back to Mayhew. Gary Mayhew back for Benning. Chauncey goes to sort it. Florida power play going to work. Ryan McAllister with it. From the Western Michigan Bronco. Does that shot go wide? Sort of for Wise. Mayhew feeds that back to McAllister. Skipped off his stick. And Kelly sends it down the ice. Sort of sends it back in front for Mayhew. The pass just out of his reach. 30 seconds to go in the Florida power play. Benning hangs that down. The pass knocked away by Larson. And picked up by Highmore. To the line, but not out. Chartier flipped that puck, and now sort of taken down by Larson. Another penalty coming to Ottawa. Here's Benning with it. in the final second of the first power play. Sort of still with it. Extra skaters on the ice now for Florida. One shot on this power play. Another one coming as Reinhart steps back on the ice. McAllister feeds it across to Benning. Back to Sorta. Wants to go to Lundell. For McAllister. Pass across and Benning hammers that just wide of the goal. Lundell feeds it across. The Ottawa net is dislodged, and so with 5:58 to go in the second period, time is called. Larson will go off for the trip, and Florida's going right back to the power play. And a 2-1 lead for Ottawa at Kraft Hockeyville here in Sydney, Nova Scotia. We mentioned the Stanley Cup has been here in Cape Breton as part of the Kraft Hockeyville festivities, and it draws a crowd wherever it goes. At the local fire hall, firefighters and their families got a chance to check it out, check the names on the cup, and if you're small enough, have a seat in it. It really is a, I can tell you, I mean, I've been around that thing for 40 years, and
it's like a magnet.
It leaves people in awe every time when you see it.
I like the creativity. You're right. Little babies in there. There's people eating cereal out of there.
Feeds that back to Belinskas on the power play. Or Samuskevich rather. That goes off a stick up another play.
If I ever won it, I would have had Kraft dinner.
Yeah, I know you would have. I know you would have.
Yeah. Well,
you'd have turned it upside down, pulled the bottom off, and filled that with Kraft dinner.
That's true. But it is a unique trophy, and you're right. It just draws. You see the reaction from everybody. That's the best part. When it comes into the building, it's just like a gasp.
Lundell gains the blue line, looks for Nick Cousins. He got tied up. Here's Samuskevich with it. For Lundell. Samuskevich works it back across to Lundell, spins it back in front. Gannett blocked that chance. Delpy another shot. Brancham got in the way of that and sends it down the ice.
A little better setup there for the Panthers trying to move that puck around. I feel like, especially in the preseason, guys want to make that pretty play instead of just firing it. One too many extra passes here tonight for Florida. They haven't been able to get their clean looks on the goaltender.
Reinhart bounded the other way, but the play was offside at the Ottawa line. The call made by linesman Matt McPherson from Antigonish, Nova Scotia. We mentioned 3 of the 4 officials are from Nova Scotia. Referees John McKaji and Gord Dwyer. Linesman Matt McPherson. And the 4th official, Jonathan Deschamps, the linesman, seen here, played for Cape Breton in the Q.
Love it.
And one thing that the NHL and other leagues are doing is recruiting former players to officiate.
Nothing wrong with that. A lot of them have a feel for the game. They're good skaters.
You're also, so the thing is, Jimmy, you're looking for someone with the judgment of an NBA or NFL official who can also be a world-class skater. And
yes,
that eliminates like 90% of the population, if not more.
Great.
So you're looking for the skating ability, which is such a big part of it.
Yep.
McAllister goes up towards the goal. Forsberg knocked the net off again. And he's going to get a warning here.
Oh, he's getting a penalty. Out there. Now this one, I've got the vantage point, Gord. This one did look a little bit suspect. He might have lifted that off and pushed it.
John McIsaac's making the call for delay of game. That did look.
It just looked a little bit. Watch it here. Goes down and pushes it with the blocker. Now, there is an argument there. Yeah, that one.
Really?
No,
Make your best argument.
There's no argument on that one. What I'm saying is there's an argument. He is arguing right now.
Yes.
But there's an argument we had last year where some of the nets were coming off too easy. I remember in Toronto, Matt Murray had 3 come off.
There was a game against Pittsburgh and a game against Minnesota back to back.
Right. You know, and it's frustrating for people because you know you want to see the flow of the game. Now he's saying that it came off pretty easy. That one looked a little bit forced. I'll be honest.
He put the right arm.
There was a forearm shiver in there involved. I'm not going to argue that.
So now
one.
a 5-on-3 for 31 seconds for Florida.
Yeah. Well, Florida's power play, as I mentioned before, one extra pass there. They're not getting clean looks. You've got one less player defending. You're going to have to get control of it, move it around, and get some opportunity here on Forsberg because you've got plenty of time with 31 seconds.
Lundell gets tossed out, so Cousins in for the face-off. That's won by Rocher, but Florida maintains possession. Samoskevich takes the pass from Benning. Samoskevich throws that rink wide to Lundell. In shoots, and Forsberg makes the glove save and hangs on.
I don't mind that play because what you do is establish the shot. Tries to go short side. So now what happens when you're defending it? You're saying, okay, that half-wall guy is going to step in, give himself a good lane. That left shot is inside the dot, so he's got a really good look. And you've got Nick Cousins there as an opportunity for either a redirect or a rebound. So now the defending group knows that they've established the shot from the half-wall.
Here's Lundell with it. Back for Benning. Mike Benning for Lundell. Who has a goal in the game so far. Benning to Samoskevich. Aki Samoskevich. Dances and shoots, and Forsberg gets a piece of that to knock it away. The puck goes over the glass and out.
You were right where Samoskevich is talking about his confidence with the puck. This is a nice little play. He was looking shot the whole time, and Cousins did a good job of trying to disrupt the vision of Forsberg. Forsberg gets a chunk of it, sends it over the glass, but right near the end of this two-man advantage, Larson's going to step right on it as the puck drops.
Face-off won by Lundell. Back to Benning for Samoskevich. That pass broken up by Kelly. First penalty's over to Jakob Larsson. Still a minute and 25 to go in the second Ottawa penalty, but Kelly comes back short-handed, pulls it in and shoots. Fires that just wide. Good look there by Parker Kelly on the penalty kill for Ottawa. Kelly scored just once in 55 games last year for Ottawa. Just couldn't buy one down the stretch.
He did have quality chances too. Just at that point, a lot of it comes down to confidence and being placed in situations, and you play farther down in the lineup. But a good kill here so far by the Senators, disrupting any type of momentum getting into the zone and forcing Florida to dump it.
Keenan plays that back in the corner for Sorted. 35 seconds to go in this Florida power play. Here's Wise with it. Mayhew. Back in the corner for Sorted. For McAllister. Lots of puck movement. Keenan back to McAllister to the goal mouth. He goes between the legs. Goes Sorted. And Forsberg makes the save.
Well, Matthew Tkachuk play.
Yes.
On the other side. It's a nifty little play. Now he presents his stick. He wants it on that outside lane. And that's the play nowadays. Instead of spinning and potentially getting poke checked by the goaltender or giving too much time for that defender from the far post to come across, you put it between the legs, and the key is to elevate it because the goaltender will go down and take away the lower part of the net. Nifty little play, but Forsberg read it.
Mahura plays it across to Balinskis, ripped that high and wide. Final seconds now, the Florida power play. Mahura keeps the puck in. Balinskis back to Mahura. Crossing goes to McAllister with a shot that goes high. 3 shots for Florida on that power play, which included some 5-on-3 time. And away comes Batherson, who served the penalty to Forsberg. Batherson back around to Branstrom. Now Gannett shoots and fired that wide. And Mahura banks it back down to the Ottawa zone. Gannett again. He tried.
Boy, he's selling it.
He took the longest way back he could. He made those little choppy strides, but just couldn't get an icing call on that.
Did his best.
Patterson throws it back across to Branstrom. Knocked down by Bezo. I don't think Riley Bees was quite as rowdy as his dad was.
No, his dad would have been in 3 fights already tonight. We're near the end of the second period. But yes, he's a good skater, big guy, can be aggressive, but
They was Charlotte last year, Florida's American Hockey League affiliate. That pass knocked down at center ice by Niles. Reinhardt stepped into him and chips that back for Bailey. Josh Bailey winds in. Has it poked away. Lomborg feeds it back down as Clement trails back for Ottawa.
Keep in mind the game was a little bit different when his dad played.
Yes. Final minute now of the second period. Sokolov was into the forecheck, but that was knocked away by Shalin. Bernard Docker got a stick on that. And Jacob Bernard Docker out there with Tyler Clement, two North Dakota alums.
Yes.
We'll see another one tomorrow night. Jake Sanderson will be in the lineup. Ottawa will have pretty close to its top lineup playing tomorrow night. Brady Tkachuk's still with a minor injury, but most of the other hands will be on deck as Cousins moves in. Taken down hard by Bernard Docker. Mike Benning steps up. Leads that down, and now Shalin with it. Get bumped hard there by McEwen. Cousins banks it back around. Benning. Ball's there with Highmore. And the puck back in the corner to Cousins. Works that back, and the long shot by Bizot. Gloved by Forsberg as time expires here in the second period. Roby Järventie gets the go-ahead goal for Ottawa in the first minute of the second period. Standing by with our second intermission, Tony Luftman and EJ. Back here in Sydney, Nova Scotia, Roby Järventie scores 11 seconds into the second period. The only goal in the middle frame, giving Ottawa a 2-1 lead. Florida had some power plays late, including a 5-on-3, but couldn't connect. As we talk about this Kraft Hockeyville weekend, the Stanley Cup making the rounds, including the Breton Ability Center, where those with special needs got a chance to see the Stanley Cup, and we've talked about the magic of that trophy.
It's the best. Getting an opportunity to be in the same room with it, it lights up.
A few years ago, Sidney Crosby had the cup after Pittsburgh won it in 2017, and he took it to a veterans hospital. And there was a veteran there who was quite blind. He was a Montreal Canadiens fan, and Sid took the man's fingers and traced over Rocket Richard's name on the cup.
It's so amazing.
Early chance there for Lockwood, turned away by Forsberg. Team start this third period 5-on-5. Ottawa will go from here to Halifax tonight. A short flight down to face Sidney Crosby and the Penguins tomorrow night in a packed house in Halifax. That game sold out within minutes of tickets going on sale. And then Ottawa will head up for a couple of days in northern Nova Scotia for a couple of days of golf up at the Fox Harbor Resort.
Good for team bonding.
Yeah.
And an opportunity to relax a little bit. Training camps they're not that long, but they're very intense.
They're shorter than they used to be.
Exactly. They used to be a month long, but that's when guys showed up to training camp to get into shape.
Right.
Nowadays, everyone's in top-notch shape.
Nice and called against Ottawa in the early moments here of the third period.
Gone are the days where at the end of the season, you just put your gear, you zip up your gear, and then you open it up at training camp.
And gone two of the days where here's some of the Penguins had a golf outing with Crosby yesterday. He's been showing his guys around Nova Scotia. But gone two of the days, Jamie, when guys would drive around in their car with the windows rolled up, the heat on, wearing a green garbage bag, trying to lose that extra 10 pounds before training camp started.
Yeah, that was.
Polinski shoots, but that wide.
I'd heard of people doing that.
Sit-ups in the sauna.
Yeah.
Remember the old scales with the balance thing on top?
Yes.
The weight and the balance. Apparently, if you put your toes over the edge and push down, you could save 5 pounds.
Oh, there were tricks. There were tricks. You go up on your tippy toes, you lean forward, you lean back. Nowadays,
Not you. You were always in prime condition, obviously.
Allegedly.
Here's Lomborg with it. He watched there by Larson. Flips it back in front. The puck loose. The Cousins couldn't quite reach it. Josh Mahura back across to Mike Benning with a long shot. Forsberg to save through traffic. The rebound got away. And Highmore with it. Diving knocked that out is Zach McEwen, who plays at the center ice. Larson plays it around to Jacob Bernard Docker. Here's Larson back with it. Up to center ice. Kelly chips at that. And picked up by Rasmus Asplund. Chips that down to the Ottawa zone. Clement goes back for it. Tyler Clement with a big body play in the corner to take that away from Mayhew. But Mayhew got it back up. Mayhew lost the handle. It's flipped high in the air by Reinhart back down to the Florida zone. Nice and called against Ottawa. So Sidney Crosby is obviously a proud Nova Scotian, and on a foggy day in Halifax, had a chance to take his guys around. He lives here in the summer. He's a very proud Nova Scotian.
Trains and does everything.
He's got a core group of friends and longtime friends from his days here in Cole Harbour.
Well, it'll be electric tomorrow night.
There is not a ticket to be had. And the ones that are to be had on secondary markets are going for a lot of money for a preseason game. He went to Team Canada's training camp, the summer camp, in August of 2003. He had just turned 16. And a year later was playing in the tournament.
So we can't call him Sid the Kid anymore. That's the big debate right now.
He's 36.
Yeah, I mean, tough to call Sid the Kid. He's 36, but maybe kid at heart.
Yeah, he's very much that way.
Yeah.
Busting in his Lundell had the first period goal for Florida. That'll be great to see him in his hometown tomorrow. There's a bit of a, oh, look at that, as Lundell flipped it over the top of the crossbar.
Try a little sneaky play there.
There's a bit of a farewell feeling, and Crosby certainly doesn't feel that way. He thinks he's got a long way to go. Lockwood winds it back, and the hard shot by Shalin, stopped there by Forsberg.
This is a good play. We go back to Lundell, trying to bank one off Anton Forsberg. Nothing wrong. This isn't hot dogging it anymore. You know what it is? It's creativity in the league. And that's what you're trying to do, is trying to find the back of the net. You're trying to find any competitive edge. Just a little chip play to see, okay, where's that puck going to land? And good read by Eric Brandstrom to grab that out of the air and go the other way. But 20 years ago, that would have been frowned upon. Nowadays,
well, between the leg stuff,
yeah,
a lot of it, right?
It would have, and it was frowned upon. But nowadays, it's changing your angle. It's being creative. And that's what a lot of kids and skills coaches are working on as we speak. You know, kids are learning that at 10 years old now and younger. And you're able to perfect it at these ages. So Lundell, that's not a hot dog play. It's more, hey, I've got no option. I'm just gonna chip it up.
So what if it is a hot dog play? What's wrong with that?
I know. I think it's more.
You know what I mean? Because you're right. There was a cultural feel in the game for a long time. Don't do anything that's sort of
exactly
out of the norm.
You're right. But you know, that's my era. That's when I played. But I look at now, and I look at some of the players who are so young, so skilled, and so talented. And
now it's still by Panthers and put that wide. Well, there was a time, Jamie, if you scored a between the legs goal, there would probably be a brawl.
Well, yeah, you'd fight your way out of the building. Nowadays, it's on highlight reels because it's so amazing. As a goaltender, believe me, if somebody did that to me, it's tough. I remember Marty Biurana, friend Marty. That was, Thomas Hurdle,
the 4-goal game, yeah,
4-goal game. But that was like goal number 8 that night in San Jose. So it's frowned upon by some people because you're like, okay, it's showing everyone up, but still a skill play.
Here's Clevin. Had that pass interrupted by Cousins. Now kept at the line by Highmore. That looked offside. Highmore feeds it across to McEwen. At the line, gets by Clevin and back down the ice.
But you're now seeing guys that try different things. You look at Connor Bedard's first year in the league. What's he going to be up to?
If the preseason is any indication, he'll be up to a lot.
Yeah, he's a special player.
And the anticipation is so great in Chicago and elsewhere for his first NHL season. That pass almost picked off by Mayhew, but back at center ice. Here's Benning to Mahura. Wrists it back down to the Ottawa zone. Asplund trying to work that free. Mike Benning plays that back down to Asplund, being shadowed there by Maxence Gannett. Once again, Benning holds the line, but it's scooted away from him as he plays it back in. And that gives Brandstrom some time.
They're looking for the equalizer. They're going to have a push here. Anton Forsberg been rock solid. I talked about him in the intermission. Looking really sharp here tonight. Florida's thrown 28 shots at him. He's been up to the task.
In comes Catholic. Shoots short side. Knight the save on that. Riley Bizzo Boston handles Sokolov, plays it back to Larson. Back to Sokolov. He shoots, it goes off the leg. Sokolov, a very popular player here in Sydney when he played for Cape Breton. He took Benning in hard into the corner there. Bizu has that knocked away. The penalty coming down to Sokolov. They're going to get him for the boarding call. And now we got Boko and Mama in the corner. As he was tangling there with Zach Dalpe, but the initial penalty goes to Sokolov for the hit on Benning, and Florida's going to the power play at Kraft Hockeyville.
Igor Sokolov, it's a boarding penalty, but you take a look at his body of work during COVID. Pretty impressive.
His billet family owned a grocery store, so he spent a lot of time delivering groceries. And
that's great.
He was an immensely popular person. I mean, immense. He's 6'3", 220 pounds, but much beloved here, and a lot of fans in Ottawa hoping he gets a longer look this year. He had 5 games with a big team, scored his first NHL goal against Tampa in April. Now forward to the power play, Samoskevich. Back to Keenan. Lundell to Samoskevich, works it and shoots, and a blocker saved by Forsberg. That squirts by Keenan and back down the ice.
That Samoskevich is not shy to shoot the puck. He's got a good shot and good release, quick release.
Lundell for Samoskevich. Leads it back in front for Lundell. Good point-blank save there by Forsberg. Bouncing puck in front. Dalpe trying to reach it. And Rourke Chartier gets it back as Ottawa's looking to change its penalty killer. Chartier sends it down. Lundell. And across the line for Samoskevich. Here's Dalpe back with it. Gannett. Flips that back down the ice, and both teams make a change now.
Florida with a good job on their last rush, challenging the net. Quality save by Anton Forsberg, but you see the penalty kill for Ottawa being very aggressive in the neutral zone, trying to force Florida to dump.
And we got an issue with Anton Forsberg's mask. Strap broken.
I think the strap breaks on the redirect. I just talked about the chance on the entry for the Florida Panthers. And here it is, a little chip to the middle of the ice, redirect. That hits Forsberg. You see the strap, the left strap, pop off right there. Gets that sorted out. Equipment, it's not a malfunction, it's just a...
I'm trying to remember who the last goalies were that wore the helmet and cage.
Chris Osgood.
Osgood, Hasek. Probably Osgood. Here's sort of with it. Moves it and shoots. Tipped on goal by Mayhew. Forsberg down, and then Brandstrom stepped hard into Mayhew.
Dan Cloutier.
Yeah.
I remember I played with a guy named Tommy Soderstrom in the birdcage.
Yeah, he had
a very unique helmet.
The Tin Man, they called him in Philadelphia, because he had heart surgery one year during the All-Star break.
That's right. What a great guy. Really good goalie partner to have. But yeah, there were some goaltenders that couldn't get acclimated to a mask, so they wore the old spider cage, we called it.
Kelly has to go off his stick into the penalty box, and there's 5 seconds left to go in the Florida power play.
Unfortunately, Florida has nothing going on here in this man advantage. They had the one opportunity. That's what broke Forsberg's mask, but see Paul Maurice having a chuckle on the bench. It's preseason. He's still getting into his groove as well. It was a long season for him last year, which he'll take. Going to the Stanley Cup final, you'll take that. That's what you strive for.
And even with some of the young Florida prospects like Samoskevich, he signed with Florida after his college season, and he was one of the extra players for the Panthers on that Stanley Cup run. So he's with the team right through June.
Well, you go through that process, you get to see what it's like. It's an invaluable experience.
Bizo. Up for Asplund. Rasmus Asplund winds in, throws it across. That pass was blocked by Bernard Docker, trickles down to the goal mouth. And Forsberg keeps that out as the teams are back to 5-on-5.
This is a great battle by Anton Forsberg, but Jacob Bernard Docker does a really good job of taking away the ice. Now this is a little beautiful play here by Asplund. Outside, inside, makes this a 2-on-1. Now, Bernard Docker knows that there's an option on the back door. Lockwood is waiting. He's a right-handed shot. He wants the one-timer. Now, Bernard Docker, now it's underneath him, and he slides towards the goaltender. So Anton Forsberg knows the puck is underneath him, so he just jumps on top of Bernard Docker, looking for the whistle.
He's off in the Ottawa zone. We mentioned the Senators will take on Pittsburgh tomorrow night in Halifax. Wrap up the preseason next weekend.
It'll be a different roster tomorrow night, obviously.
Yeah, both teams will play pretty close to NHL rosters. By the looks of it. You know Crosby's going to want all the guns playing for Pittsburgh.
Yep.
He's a tiny bit competitive.
Yes, we'll see the lay eyes on Erik Karlsson, I would imagine then.
Yeah, Cousins a big hit on Brandstrom. There's Gannett. By the way, on this day in 1999, the Ottawa Senators named Daniel Alfredson as their captain. Hall of Fame career included that designation. Cousins around the Lombard. Sort of. Plays it back around to Cousins, goes off a skate. And now played out by McEwen as he dives and knocks that to center ice.
It's good work by Zach McEwen. A little second effort. He hasn't played a lot tonight. Gets an opportunity and does a good job in the defensive zone.
Cousins up for Lundell, winding in, shoots, scores! Lundell's got 2 and the game is tied at 2.
Anton Lundell has been the best player for the Florida Panthers on the ice, and shows why again with his second of the game. This is just a beautiful play in the neutral zone. He's going to get speed, come off the bench, and skate right into it. Cousins is going to slide it to him. He goes from outside inside. And that catches Tyler Kleven flat-footed on the play. And Lundell skates towards him, uses Kleven as a screen, and goes high blocker on Anton Forsberg. And we've got a tie game.
Lundell had 12 goals in his second NHL season with Florida. Holds the line again, but it's poked away by Batherson. He's got Schmeichel with him. In comes Batherson, works in, shoots short side, and Knight makes the save. Batherson plays it back across, picked up by Kleven. Kleven moves it back in front, and a good chance there for Roby Järventie. That's turned away. And Powell a long shot, and Knight kicks that away. And Cousins draws the assist on the Florida goal by Lundell. And now Bailey works in. Josh Bailey drops it back to Batherson. And Ottawa's Yuri Schmeichel was knocked hard into the goal frame, knocking it off. So Florida has tied the game at 2. Ottawa very nearly went ahead again, but Drake Batherson from New Minas, Nova Scotia has turned away. The Ottawa ties to the Cape Breton Screaming Eagles, now the Eagles. Drake Batherson played 95 games for them. Sokolov spent 3 years here, scored 97 goals, including leading the Quebec League in goal scoring one year. Mandalese was the Quebec League goalie of the year. And Drake's dad, Norm, played for the PEI Senators 1 year, played a long time in Europe, including Germany.
I played against Norm Batherson.
The list of people you played against is long and distinguished.
You should ask who I didn't play against, to put it that way.
Here's Larson with it. Brings that back around. Now stolen by Bailey. Josh Bailey. Plays that back to Larson. And Mahura back with it. Mayhew winds his way in. Gary Mayhew in on Larson. And Larson squeezes him off the puck, but Mayhew stays with it. Bailey digs that free. That skips away from Mayhew. Here's Mayhew with it. Winding in, and the Mama took that away. What's left is swatted away by Forsberg. Sokolov up for Imama. Oko Imama comes winding in on Naus. Plays that behind the goal. Here's Catholic with it. Imama trying to dig that free. Catholic got it knocked away. Cousins looks ahead. Keenan finds Sorda. Sorda spins and shoots. That flutters wide in the corner. And Catholic has it back.
You can see the pace is raised a little bit. Both teams looking for the go-ahead goal.
Cousins back at the point. Keenan in a hard shot. Save made by Forsberg. Benning to Cousins. He shoots. That was blocked by Imama. Cousins plays it back. Keenan hard shot blocked by Imama again. And the third shot put high. Imama's taken 2 shots flush here on the shift. And that shot by Sorda goes off a stick, up and out of play. And the Ottawa Senators on the bench saluting the shot blocking of Boko Imama.
Well, that's a lot of courage. You're right. He takes 2 hard shots. But as a forward up there, you got to be in the lane. There's the initial one. Gets in, gets up, and then mirroring the defenseman on the one-timer. That one stung. That was on the outside of the skate. But he gets some love from his teammates on the bench as he paid a price defensively for his group. Little details like that, Gord. We talked about it. Whether you're on the big roster to start the season or not, go a long way.
Yeah. What did the coach's memory bank?
Exactly.
Got an issue at the timekeeper's bench. They've called referee Gord Dwyer over for a conversation.
Well, it's been a good third period so far, and really, I think it's been a quality game so far tonight. You look at full house, fans loving it, 2-2 score.
So Dwyer's having a conversation with the Ottawa bench. Something to do with Yuri Schmeichel. They indicated 1-3.
Right. Could it be a spotter?
Well, that's what I'm wondering. Is Dom Nicoletta, the athletic therapist for Ottawa, is talking to Schmeichel?
Yeah. Might have taken a hit along the wall, or
so Gord Dwyer kind of turned his palms up and said, I have no choice here. John McIsaac's over there talking to the Ottawa bench.
Well, caution or not, seems like it's been a spirited debate. They sorted it out.
Schmeichel stays where he is and play continues. Clevin up for Highmore. Fires it down as Knight is out to play it. Brooke Chartier banks it back around on McEwen. Shaw has that taken away and it's got it back up by Highmore. Across he goes to Clevin. Clevin shoots. And that was blocked in front by Charlotte. Martin Palo. Lead pass to Highmore. And now Lindell backward. And he got steamrolled there by Clevin at the Ottawa blue line. And we mentioned Clevin loves to step up. And did again there.
Nothing wrong with that, though. You use your body to your advantage. Clevin, coming out of North Dakota, he's a guy that, if he's going to play in the National Hockey League and be an everyday defenseman, he's got to use his length, got to use his size, and use his physicality.
Schmeichel's out there for Ottawa now. Larson up along the boards and picked up by Belinskas. Like a lot of Latvians, Belinskas had to play elsewhere last year because the Latvian league folded after COVID, so their players were scattered to the 4 winds, including their junior players.
Yeah, that's tough. You're looking for a place to play.
But they had the historic World Championship, won a bronze medal, their first ever bronze, and the celebration might still be going on in the streets of Riga for all we know.
That looked like a full-on party, that celebration. Good for them, and maybe that sparks some funding and helping with the program.
A passionate hockey country, Latvia is. Brandstrom gains center ice and tries to move that ahead. Mayhew drops it back to Evan Naus. Won the Memorial Cup last spring with Patrick Roy's Quebec Remparts as they tore through that tournament.
Did they ever?
I mean, most people thought Seattle had the best team in junior hockey, maybe the best team in the last decade in junior hockey, and Quebec dismantled them in the championship game. Here's Bailey from a sharp angle. Knight to save on that. And Knight pushing, moves the net off. And there's that net that came off easily again. Ottawa's calling for a penalty, saying, well, we got one down there.
Yeah.
2-2 the score. Here in the third period, it's Kraft Hockeyville from Cape Breton. Cape Bretoners had to wait an extra year to get their Hockeyville NHL preseason game, but they have been loving this weekend. The activities going on in and around the arena. The Hockeyville Cup presented prior to this game. And a chance to see NHL players up close and in person, which doesn't happen every day, including the mascots.
Getting into the action.
There's Ella McPherson, the 5-year-old, such an inspiration here. And we mentioned that the $250,000 donation from Kraft will go to the Canada Games Arena, which will be dedicated solely to girls hockey. They put a new ice plant in there so that girls in Cape Breton have a place to play and time to play.
I love it.
Batherson off the face-off, shoots, and Knight makes the save, and Batherson looks back for a penalty.
Yeah, he's looking for a little tripping call right off the draw. He might have be right in that assessment. Schmeichel wins the draw, and Batherson steps right into that. Would have got a little better shot off if he felt that.
Off the draw, here he comes again, plays it back to Clevin, who flutters that into the corner. Yarvanty, back to Clevin. He sort of had his pocket picked by Yarvanty. Schmeichel drops that back to Batherson, shoots him a sharp angle. Knight makes the save. Rebound bounces high in the slot, picked up there by Schmeichel. Down to Yarvanty, drops it off to Batherson. Loose puck in front, Schmeichel couldn't reach it. And Cousins backhands out ahead to Keenan. For Sorda. Schmeichel had his stick knocked out of his hands, looks back, and there is a penalty coming to Florida. That'll be a slashing call. And so with 4:37 to go in the third period, Ottawa gets a power play. And as Ryan Lomberg goes off.
Hard to argue that one as Schmeichel had tried to chip the puck to himself into middle ice. A little slash right there. Kind of a one-hander though. But Ottawa will take it, and looks like Ottawa's called the timeout, looking to get set up. 4:37 left here in the third period, 2-2. Davis Payne drawing up a plan for this power play. Schmeichel scored a nice goal in that first period.
Yeah.
Bomb that went underneath the bar. And
so Ottawa 0 for 3 on the power play. 4 shots total. We mentioned Ottawa #2 in the NHL last year to Edmonton in power play goals scored. They really relied on their power play for offense.
And they did it without Josh Norris as well.
Yeah. And Norris is ready to come back soon for Ottawa. Should get some preseason games in here before the end of the exhibition season.
You look at their depth. If Norris is healthy, knock on wood for him coming back, and they can end up sorting out Shane Pinto's situation. It's a real strong top 9 for sure. I think that's what people in Ottawa are very excited about, is the depth of that group and depth in net, and now you've got defensive depth with.
Schmeichel wins a face-off back to Brandstrom. Schmeichel back with it to Batherson. Batherson back across to Brandstrom. Batherson centers it. That's knocked away, but kept alive by Brandstrom. Bolinskas couldn't chip it out. Brandstrom Finds it back across the Yarmouth. That shot was blocked by Belinskas. And now Matheson has it bounce away. And loose puck swatted out by Mahura. Roby Yarvanti with it. Then across the line, he drops it off to Batherson. Rick Batherson moves that down to Schmeichel. Batherson, little no-look pass. Sokolov trying to feed it back across to Yarvanti. Here's Brandstrom. Back across. Yarvanti feeds it to Sokolov. And Yarvanti back with it. And the puck bounced out. Offside called against the Senators.
Just snuck outside the line, and Brandstrom doesn't like the call, but it was outside. It turned on its side, and Ottawa trying to move that puck around to the top of the umbrella. Nothing threatening towards the net. You're looking for that either perfect play or a clear lane to the net. Now the second unit will come out, led by Josh Bailey. Drake Batherson will stay on the ice, though.
Inside a minute to go in this power play. Here's Batherson with it. Up ahead to Parker Kelly. Batherson drops it back. Gannett. For Batherson, back across to Bailey. Here's Batherson, has a look, walks right in, feeds it across, and score! Tipped home by Parker Kelly, and Ottawa takes a 3-2 lead with a power play goal.
Wow, what an unbelievable pass by Drake Batherson in the crowd.
So he's got 3 assists in the game.
And beauties. This one is an absolute beauty as he curls and drags this through traffic. Parker Kelly's going to get credit for the goal, but this is all about Drake Batherson getting around a defender. A little curl and drag right there and through the seam underneath the stick of Josh Mahura, and Parker Kelly gets a wide open net for the go-ahead goal, but that's all made possible by Drake Batherson.
3 to go here in the third period. Doesn't seem to matter who's on it. The power play is so important for Ottawa. And here's Clevin back with it. Batherson will be back in the lineup tomorrow night to play in Halifax against Sidney Crosby and the Penguins. Ottawa opened the regular season in Carolina, no easy feat. Florida opens with 3 road games at Minnesota, Winnipeg, and then New Jersey. The Devils widely expected to be a strong team in the Eastern Conference.
Oh, I think the Devils are going to be really good. Now you look at the goaltending situation is still, I think at some point they might try and add more depth there, but
Kastelik, good job there to get the icing. Sokolov gets in on it. Kastelik throws that towards the goal. It bounces away. Kelly spins that back towards the goal. Knight held it an extra beat long, and with Sokolov standing there, a face-off will be in the Florida end.
well, you're going to have to keep your eye on Spencer Knight. 2 minutes left in this game, chasing the goal. Here's another peek of the angle of Drake Batherson, curl and drag through the seam. Parker Kelly gets an easy one on the forehand one-timer. You see the reaction of Lomberg. Not happy. He didn't like the call as well. He thought that was soft, so. But who does like the call? Really?
Very, very rarely. You know what? You were bang on. That was a great call by you. I was dead wrong. Yeah.
But there's difference.
I'll go straight to the box.
We did argue earlier. There was no argument, but it was Anton Forsberg's penalty was a call. I think he had a little smile on his face too, knowing little forearm shiver on that post. Forsberg's been rock solid.
Very good. And I think, you know, for him, this preseason may be more meaningful than it is for most veterans coming off the double MCL tear.
Yep. He looks mid-season form the way he's played tonight.
Lindell was knocked down at center ice as Knight makes his way to the Florida bench. The extra skater comes on, it's Lomberg. So 6 skaters on 5 for Florida. Chartier moves out ahead and to the line, but not out. Now it's picked up by Batherson. Here he comes, Drake Batherson, empty net. And the Cape Breton Eagle puts it away. Empty net goal, a 4-point game in a 4-2 Ottawa lead.
Look at the crowd going crazy for him. This is fitting.
He's a Nova Scotia native, playing junior hockey here.
Waves to his family in the crowd, gives him a little point. Why wouldn't you? He's been dominant tonight, and little bouncing puck at the blue line, sticks with it, chips it to space for himself, skates into it, and then just slides it into the empty net for the 4th point. First goal of the night, but 3 beautiful assists, and Drake Batherson has been the best player on the ice tonight.
Gannett pokes that back to Brandstrom. Not the night he won't soon forget. So proud of his Nova Scotia roots.
It's nice to come home, but it's even better to have a performance like this for Drake Batherson.
Last minute of play now in the 3rd period. Sydney waited an extra year to get this game, but it was worth the wait. Pretty entertaining evening here.
It has been. Good effort by both organizations. I think both general managers got to be happy with some of their young players that have shown up to play tonight.
Kelly chips it back to center ice. And the announcement of the Batherson goal brings a big cheer here. As Mike Benning plays it back in. An assisted goal for Batherson. And time winds down here, and the Ottawa Senators win it by a final score of 4-2 on a big night for Drake Batherson.
Well, it's nice to come home and have a night like that, but the Senators continue their strong play in the preseason. For me, it was Drake Batherson and Anton Forsberg that led the charge for them. A couple quality efforts on the Florida side as well. Anton Lundell looked really sharp, and as the Panthers have some decisions to make as far as roster spots.
Yeah. And some health questions that need to be answered for them.
Yes.
As the season is set to begin. We'll have some of the players giving their jerseys away to fans here tonight. And saluting Sydney. Lots of members of the Batherson family here tonight. Beaming, why wouldn't they be?
I see him waving up to the family section there, which is great. This is a nice gesture here by both organizations to thank the sold-out crowd that showed up.
And now some lucky fans will receive jerseys from the players from the 2 teams. And the smile won't go away from Batherson's face.
This is great. Some signed jerseys from the Panthers and the Senators to fans that have collected on the ice.
Who gets the Batherson one is the big question.
Yeah, there's
some more fans at the Ottawa end of the rink.
Yeah,
being welcomed out.
It's nice for Sokolov there, for Mandalese.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you think about your junior days, you still have fond memories of that.
Absolutely. Love to go back in Lethbridge and Spokane where I played. There's Igor Sokolov right there.
He is a cult hero here
in
Sydney.
Young fan gets the Batherson jersey. Excited about it. Like putting it right on. Love it. it's all about. In Craft Hockeyville, you come out and get into the communities. And you mentioned before, Gord, I got an opportunity to play in Lethbridge, Alberta, and it was somewhat close to home for me, and having family and friends, and still maintain strong relationships there 35 years later.
There's Ella McPherson with Kevin Mendelese. And the McPhersons were his billet family here in Cape Breton.
That's awesome.
She was the star of the show today.
She was. I'll never forget this day.
And I've got a team photo.
Both ends. Panthers have had a busy schedule. They flew all the way up here for this and have to head right back. They've got 3 games against Tampa.
So we mentioned it was supposed to be played last fall, but the game was postponed a year, but worth the wait for the fans here in Sydney. And a lasting legacy as the $250,000 donation will find a new ice plant for an arena for girls hockey. 4-2 the final score for Ottawa from City, Nova Scotia. For Jamie McBennett, I'm Gord Miller. So long for now. Now back to the studio with Tony Lipman and EJ Rapp.